Truck drivers, here are the top 3 truck driving and DOT inspection myths that has been being spread for as long as I can remember. And in this video, we're going to break them down, we're going to bust them, and most importantly, I'm going to explain to you what is correct. I'm going to focus on the actual regulations so you don't have to be worried about getting violations or be stressed about things that straight up are not true. My name is Cole, I'm a state DOT cop, and I drop videos every single week about all things CDL and DOT related, whether that be trucking news, trucking compliance, DOT inspection tips, compliance tips, and much more. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe button so you don't miss any of it. The first thing I want to get out of the way really quick, the federal regulation lives in 49 CFRs. That right there is FMCSA's rule book, and you should be pretty familiar with it. And DOT inspections pass or fail criteria are in the CVSA's out of service inspection criteria. During this video, every time I mention a myth or I talk about a regulation or a criteria, I'm going to try to throw it up on the screen so that you can pause, screenshot, and just know it for your general knowledge. Myth number 1, your sleeper berth bed must be made, or you're going to get a violation for your bed not being made. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I've walked up to spotless trucks with the driver in there that's literally stressing, apologizing that his blanket wasn't all the way tucked in and that his pillow was disheveled. And I'm thinking that this person's joking, but no, they're being serious. Some people are actually told that if the bed isn't military tight, then they can get violations. So right now we're going to crush this one once and for all. Here's what the regulation actually says. The federal rule is 49 CFR 393.76, sleeper berths. It says a sleeper must be properly equipped for sleeping, including adequate bed clothing and blankets and some types of approved mattress. It also covers size, shape, ventilation, occupant restraint, and access. It does not say that it has to be made properly and tucked completely perfect. So please know that you will not get a violation if your sleeper berth, bed, mattress isn't in perfect, tucked in military tight condition. So pretty much your standard is, do you have proper bedding and a real mattress setup? Just like in real life, we don't want to be sleeping on cardboard boxes. This isn't about did you fold your corners properly on that bed sheet. So just think about it in a common sense way. If your sleeper berth is piled up with cardboard boxes and just boxes everywhere and items all over your bed, that's not really a usable sleeper. So yes, that could get you in a bit of trouble. But the actual appearance of that bed, made or unmade, that is not a violation. As a DOT cop, what we look for is going to be safety and compliance. So are the dimensions and the equipment compliant? Is there ventilation and protection from exhaust and fuel leaks? And is it reasonably usable as a sleeper? None of that hinges on a perfectly made bed. This is something I want to know though. Has someone or one of your trucking buddies or anybody ever told you that they got a ticket because their bed wasn't perfectly made? If that is true, drop what state and when in the comments because I gotta see this. If you want to avoid any hassle at all, keep your sleeper clean, keep it usable. Don't have boxes and a ton of stuff on your bed. Have bed sheets or a tire on your bed itself and just have a legitimate mattress. A mattress that's described in 393.76. That's it. You'll be good. Myth number 2, spinner knobs on steering wheels are illegal. I've heard this myth so much, whether it be online or in person, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Spinner knobs are a hot button gadget in the trucker community. We have so many truckers that completely agree with these and so many truckers that do not agree with them and don't like them and think that they're unsafe. So really, are spinner knobs illegal? Is it an out of service? Is it an automatic ticket? Well, let's talk about the truth. Here's what the federal rules actually cover and say. So the steering rules live in 49 CFR 393.209, steering wheel systems. The regulation talks about a secure steering wheel. No cracked, missing spokes, and you have to have proper lash play limits. It has to be a secure column, and no worn or welded steering joints. So read it top to bottom. There is no federal ban on spinner knobs in commercial motor vehicles. The focus there is on the safety and condition of that steering wheel column and all of its components. The CVSA out of service criteria lays out what it takes for a vehicle or driver to be put out of service. There is no blanket out of service that says that spinner knobs are going to put you out of service. If a driver creates an unsafe condition with said spinner knob, that's a whole different story. But right now we're talking about general use. There isn't a federal per se prohibition on the mere presence of a spinner knob. So all this begs the question, why the confusion and quite frankly, why all the drama? And I'm going to give you 3 reasons that answer that question right now. One is going to be company policy. Some carriers flat out forbid spinner knob. And yes, I know there are other names for those, but I'm not going to say that here. When it comes down to company policy, that's just what it is. A company policy has nothing to do with the federal regulation. So if a company says that you can't use it, then you can't use it because that is their policy. Again, it's not tied to the federal regulation. The second thing is going to be state codes and ordinances. A few states have older or very ambiguous language when it comes to steering devices or full control clauses. That could be cited if a spinner knob can contribute to the loss of control. So my best advice to you in that case is to look at the states that you run in, or if you only run in one state, look at the state that you run in and see if those are prohibited in your state. Also, make sure that it's good to go from your company. So far, if it's good to go in your state and it's good to go in your company, you're going to be just fine. The third reason that caused all this confusion is going to be safety judgment. If your knob is loose, snagging sleeves, or otherwise just generally unsafe, that can be written under steering safety. So keep those three things in mind when you're thinking about using a steering knob or if you have one right now. So like I mentioned earlier, at the federal level, there is no blanket ban on spinner knobs. Keep the steering system within 393-209 spec, ensure the knob does not impair control, and know your company policy and local rules with wherever you're going to be running. If these answers are so far surprising to you, go ahead and comment down below letting me know your personal experience with this. Myth number 3, here we are. As a truck driver, you must carry a white sheet for bad crashes and any fatalities that you roll up on. Now, this one has been around forever and it's very grim. I understand why this one spread like wildfire, and I understand why it seems very believable. Because all in all, it does make sense. A lot of truck drivers are first on scene or they first see very bad situations out on the road. But there is no federal rule requiring truck drivers to carry white sheets or white blankets in their trucks because if they roll up on a fatal crash. There is none. A lot of people call this the white sheet rule, and the white sheet rule is not true, but we're going to get into some explanation. Here's what the regulation actually requires. Mandatory emergency equipment for power units is in 49 CFR 393-95, and the list is fire extinguisher with proper rating. They want you to have some spare fuses if your truck uses them, and you guessed it, warning devices for stopped vehicles, aka triangles, and you need 3 of those things. So did you hear anything about white sheets there? Nope, you didn't. That's because it's not in the federal requirements. Plain English takeaway. You need extinguishers, fuses if applicable, and triangles/flares. Anything else like first aid, band-aids, blankets, high-vis are really good practice and in a lot of cases company policies, but not federally mandated. This might be a far-fetched question, but my truck drivers out there, if you've ever been cited for this no white sheet thing, drop it down in the comments. Tell me where and when, because I want to know what in the world statute would have even been used to cite you for that. So just as a pro safety note, I do want to say this. If you choose to carry extra safety and trauma gear in your rig somewhere, good on you. I love that. It helps keep you and others big time safe in wild emergencies. But don't let anyone tell you that there's a DOT requirement forcing you to have a white sheet somewhere in there, because that simply is not a rule. So right now, I'm going to answer 5 DOT inspection and safety related questions that I've been asked in the comments of my videos over the last couple months. 1, can I be cited if my sleeper is messy? Like you mentioned before, messy isn't the standard. Usable and properly equipped is. So if your sleeper berth is so cluttered and filled with stuff that you can't even sleep in your sleeper, then yes, that can be an issue, but just a generally a little bit messy sleeper area is not going to be a problem, as long as you can properly get into your bed with no obstructions and properly log sleeper berth. So the bed being messy and not made by itself is not technically a federal violation. Question number 2, can a spinner knob put me out of service? We just touched majorly on this, but here's the answer. No, not for simply just having one. Out of service comes into play if there are very unsafe conditions. If it's loose, it's interfering with your controlling, it's snagging your clothing, then that's a different story. But a properly attached, well secured spinner knob is not going to put you out of service. Question number 3, do I need a first aid kit or a white sheet? And as we just discovered, no, you do not. Question number 4, what about state laws? So this question came from a video that I dropped about federal laws. So this person is asking, well, what about the state laws? And what I have to say to this is that if the federal law does not say anything about it, but it's illegal in a certain state, and that's a state that you run in, you have to follow what the state law is saying, no matter what you may be talking about. Question number 5 is, where can I find all these rulings, regulations? Where can I read the official stuff? I'm going to post it right up here on the screen so everybody can just take a screenshot. Pause the video here if you have to, but this is where you can find everything that we talked about today. Right now, I'm just going to put up a couple practical checklists that you can actually screenshot right now to have for your safety and compliance. The first checklist that I'm going to put up is going to be for your sleeper berth. So these are going to be things like the minimum requirements, the measurements, mattress types, and things of that nature. So make sure that you're screenshotting this or pausing the video right now, because these are important. These can help out many people. This second checklist is going to be for emergency equipment. So pretty much everything by federal standards that you should have in your truck as emergency equipment. Again, make sure to screenshot this, pause the video, whatever you may have to do. And this other checklist or guideline just going to be for that spinner knob deal that we talked about. You're going to see a regulation that you can look up just to read about this more in depth, that you can send it, show it to all your trucker friends, buddies, so that they can stay in the know. Let me know down in the comments, which myth did you believe until today? I want to know, and don't be shy. If you like this video and learned value from it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, because it pushes this video out to even more truckers so that they can stay in the know, stay squared away, and stay on the road. As always, stay safe, keep rolling.